How's it going, folks? Thought I'd do a little bit of an update on the aquaponics here today. Just to start off, I'm a little bit fuzzy today, so please bear with me if I stumble a bit. Also too, I've had a bit of a computer crash last week, and I lost probably 4 or 5 clips I was working on, maybe a few more, and a lot of backup files I had of what's been going on in the system. I lost one on some compost we're making up, the potatoes from the patch, and also a bit of a problem we've had with the fish farm. Been documenting that, and I've lost all the files. So I've learned the lesson, back up everything now. I normally only do it once a month, but I'll be doing it weekly. Also too, I did find some footage on a bit of an issue we're having with the aquaponics, so we'll go and have a bit of a look at that, and then I'll show you around the beds and show you how things are going. So one of the issues I've been having is when it comes time to clean out the radial flow filter, I've got no way to turn off the water coming out of the fish tank, so I pretty much will have to wait for the water level to drop to there and then flow all the way through before I can clean out the radial flow filter. Otherwise I'm going to have a whole heap of water coming through the system. So what I need to do is basically pull these guys off, these solid lifting outlets, install a valve on there so I can just turn these off at any time and isolate them from the system. Just more out of convenience than anything else. Just on this one here, and one on the slow coming out of the fish tank up the end behind the sump tank in the fish farm. Another problem I've had is the 90mm pipe that these guys are running into. It flows down here into the base of the radial flow filter. Now what I'm finding is the water's coming down here, but I don't have a high enough flow rate to truck all the solids up out into the radial flow filter, and I'm ending up with a rather large build-up just in this end cap here, this inspection port. That was put on there purposely because I knew I'd have to flush these lines out at some point in time. Unfortunately, it's created a problem where a lot of the solids are accumulating down the bottom here. Now last weekend I cleaned out the radial flow filter, and once I opened that cap I found a whole heap of solids came out. There was some in there that was actually rather festy and rather furry, so I think it is time that I need to change the way this is all plumbed up. What I'll be doing is running 2 15mm pipes, basically one from each one, down here and then into a new drum. This one's been butchered enough and plugged. I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet, put a new drum or filter in there and run 2 standpipes, 50mm standpipes or 2-inch standpipes in there, just so I can keep the velocity in those pipes moving and get those solids up and out. Because what I think is happening is down here where they are accumulating, they're starting to decompose anaerobically, and I have noticed in the system that the pH has climbed a little bit every now and then, so I think that's part of the problem, just those solids down there building up. Just another thing that I'll just show you quickly is over here in the biofilter, and I've changed it over a while ago, but I don't think I've shown you guys just the way that this has been plumbed up internally. With the moving bed biofilter, the way I had it plumbed up before was slightly different. I had the water coming in through this pipe here that runs down to the base. It was situated over here, so the water flew out the base, then was circulated via the venturi that's turning the media, and then I had a bit of a T-section up the top here with some holes drilled in it and slits cut in it, and that was taking the water out into the sump tank. Now I noticed that just the way that T piece was across the back of the barrel here, the media was starting to go a little bit stagnant up the back there, and it just wasn't circulating. So what I did was basically swapped it over. This large pipe is now on this side, taking the water from the bottom, and over here we have water coming in from the top, just behind this little, if I can grab him off, just through this little fitting here. It's basically an end cap with a whole heap of holes drilled in it, and that's sitting over the in pipe just to stop any media flowing back into the radial flow filter if the water flow stops, and that's working perfectly. I haven't had any problems with that whatsoever. I do think though that this, actually something you haven't seen yet, but with the fish farm, thanks to the computer crashing, we had a solids build up in the base of the moving bed biofilter over there, and I think what that is basically poor radial flow filter maintenance. So yeah, I think I might clean this out as well and just see what sort of solids are down the bottom here. So the rest of the system is looking pretty fantastic, I think, especially these barrels. They've really flown off. A week or two, actually a week after I planted out the ginger in here, I popped in a couple of beetroot as well, and they're just booming. I'll just bring in for a bit of a closer look. Just found this caterpillar munching on the beetroot. We'll have to go to the chooks. And we'll just have a quick look down here at the bed itself. As you can see, the ginger's already started to divide. We'll come down for a bit of a closer look, I think, just to show you how it's spreading. We've got large white roots that are sending off into the gravel. And you can see this one down here. I'll try and be as gentle as I can. Might just reposition the camera as well. So that's the original rhizome down there, and then we have this little offshoot here going up to this green shoot, leafy stem. That will form and fatten up into a nice plump bit of ginger, and the plant will slowly divide off that again, and we'll end up, hopefully, just try and keep that root under the clay, hopefully with ginger all the way through these barrel beds. I've got 3 in this one. There's one on this side of the pipe or the hose, and there's another one, if we can come back a bit, on the other side. And I've just popped in a few bits of beetroot all the way around. Now this pipe down in here, I had a few people comment on the barrel clip when I posted it, there's a bit of a dead leaf down in there, that these little holes, they're 1/8 holes, might clog in this pipe. I have had 1 or 2 clog, but it's really easy just to run my fingers underneath it and they start emitting water again. Also too, I can just turn the tap on full bore and that's enough to blow out any debris that's in the pipe. So not a real big issue. It's not something I'm really concerned about. Eventually, once these roots divide and spread and become larger in the barrel, take up more space, the beetroot will be out by then. I'll just have a single hose, or the hose will be cut round about the middle, probably a new one will go on, and then I'll just have the water falling in the centre, and then the roots will be able to find it from there. So I don't think it'll be a big deal, but the 2 barrels are doing really well, and I'm pretty impressed by the way they're going. And I got water all over the screen, but you know, such is. We'll go over and have a look at the other beds. So the bed over the sump tank's changed. There was a bit of UV damage to some of the exposed plastic, so I thought it better off to change it out. This is the bottom of the old fish tank that is pretty much where the camera is sitting right now, so I've just popped that in there. The plants we've got on the go in here at the moment are the jalapeno. I'll just go over and have a bit of a look. Here's chockers full of fruit at the moment, so I'm really impressed with that. Then in the centre we have a capsicum, or a sweet pepper, that I rescued from the soil patch. It's got 1 fruit on it at the moment. The other plants that I've got in here at the moment are a couple of Okinawa spinach. I put them in just as cuttings and they've taken right off. A kangkong, I put the kangkong inside one of the root pouches, mainly because they can get rather invasive. The bed over the back there had a whole corner of it overtaken by one kangkong plant last summer. So I thought I'd put him in a root pouch, pull him out and be able to trim the roots, or you know, keep a bit of an eye on him. Over the back there I have some mint that I've rescued from Maya's bed. So she had a little mint bed that she was making tea out of, the fresh mint, and I've done the same thing. I put it in a root pouch just to try and subdue the amount of roots that come out. Some will come out, but yeah, we'll just see what happens. I've also got a couple of mulberry cuttings. There's one there and one over the back, just over in the back there. They were doing rather well. I had 4 in there to begin with, or it might have been 5. 3 of them have started to turn yellow and die off. This one is doing the same. It's looking a little bit yellow, not so good, but the one over the back has some nice little buds forming in the branches or between the leaves, and also the leaves are looking nice and green, so hopefully that dwarf mulberry will strike and we'll end up with a decent plant from that. Chris, the beetroot's still laying down on the job, mate. It hasn't stood up. This is one I transplanted in a week or 2 ago. It was in the soil patch and just wasn't doing much chop, so I brought him in here after seeing how well its sisters were doing in the barrel beds behind me here, so they were playing it out at the same time. Obviously they'd like it much more in here. The celery over on the side there, they're doing alright, the 4 of them. And down the base here I have a little root section of watercress I dug out from the other bed. We had a whole heap of soldier caterpillars. I think they're a moth, and they lay a dozen or 2 eggs at a time, and you end up being just assaulted, all the plants do, assaulted with caterpillars. So I pulled off most of that and fed it to the chooks. The chooks actually love the watercress, and a little bit of a root section had roots on it, so I just popped him down there, and it looks to have taken off, so I'll have to keep an eye on that as well, because watercress is another one of those plants that can become really invasive. Just thought I'd show you the standpipe. I've altered it a little bit. When I put this bed together in the other clip, I had it running on a 25mm standpipe. I've actually changed that. What I've gone and done is just used a few dodgy fittings because I've run out of bits and pieces, but what I've got is a 25mm to 20mm reducer, and then I've gone a 20mm reducer up to a 25, and that just creates a bit of a cascade effect, starts the siphon off a little bit better, I found, than having the straight 25mm pipe in there. They are odd fittings. Normally I'd just have a little reducing bush down in the fitting in the base there, but yeah, just using what I've got laying around at the moment. Seems to be working fine. Siphon's initiating and cutting off when it should, so this bed over here really does need to move, the two of them. I've already taken one skin out, and that's become a root pouch garden, a sort of a wicking one, water in the base of it, but I'll do another clip on that on another time. This bed here needs to be cleaned out as well. It's full of muck, so once the clay's out of that and it's cleaned, this whole frame will move around the back. Actually, we'll go around and I'll show you where I want to position it. So this bed here, I actually want to bring it around and set it up this way here. A bit of a walkway on either side, a bit of an L shape, but I want a walkway on one side so I can get to the chickens' reservoir, water reservoir, so I can top up their nipple feeders, drippers, and I want a walkway down this side as well so I can get to the back, because I'm planning on having an NFT setup go along the back there. So that's not going to really happen until the end of summer. A little bit too hot to run NFT here during summer, but during winter I'll have some leafy greens growing up the back there. So this bed pretty much all needs to be cleaned out and moved. These pepinos in this bed here, they've got a bit of a rust problem, so what I'm going to do, it's caused by mites, so what I'm going to do is pretty much we'll just chop them all the way back. I actually think they are coming, well actually I know they're coming from this bean plan over here. We've got a wall of Blue Lake climbing beans here, and they're pretty much all the problems started here and spread over to the pepino. I'm a little bit concerned just going, well actually it sort of looks like it has moved on to the sweet potato, and yeah, so it's not something I really want to spread through the aquaponics because it will be hard to treat in here. I'll just quickly, there's a red vein sorrel doing rather well, going well in salads. Another one of those beetroot that got transplanted out, pretty sad looking. The lettuce has just turned into chook food at the moment. There's one variety, actually I'll come and show you. There's a variegated variety of lettuce that I thought was really pretty, so I'm letting it go to seed. Got some very pretty little flower heads on them there. I'm going to let that one go to seed and try and save it, and the rest of these guys we're just pretty much all tipping and feeding to the chooks. Chooks have had a lot of treats lately, haven't you girls? So what else? Oh, they're just the bags from the mulberry cuttings. A couple more Rockanow and spinach over the back here. This one's really flying along, so I know they've definitely rooted. We're actually selling these root pouches now here in Australia, so I'll put a bit of a link down in the description and also on the screen there. You can follow that to our blog store and hit me up, send me a message, and I can, work out a bit of a price for you. We're also selling uniseals and the black venturi, so if you like the price and you're interested in some, send me a message and I'll see what I can do for you. But yeah, I don't really like spruiking that sort of stuff because I'm into it more for the aquaponics and trying to make $1 million bucks out of this sort of stuff. You just can't get them here in Australia, you can only get them brought in, so I thought I'd have a crack and help a few people out. So there you go guys, there's a bit of an update on the aquaponic system. Hopefully this afternoon we're going to put a couple of the silver perch over into the aquaponics, from the fish farm to the aquaponics, so if the battery lasts long enough you might get a bit of a look at that another time. Also too, I really want to do an update clip on the aquaculture system, the fish farm, mainly because we've had a few issues, but I'm pretty much, well, sure I've got it all nailed down now. I know what's going on thanks to Mr. Paul Van and the others that have helped, Rupert of Oz, Mr. John. Thanks for the help guys, I really do appreciate it. Also too, the other clips from around the garden, I'll start shooting a few more of them and just do a bit of an update. Really frustrating I didn't back up, but it's one of those things, lesson learned. Pretty much we'll leave it there. I hope you guys all have an absolutely fantastic one and everyone is well and happy, and I shall catch you next clip. Cheers guys. Thought I'd just show you guys, over yesterday when I filmed and today we've ended up putting 21 of these silver perch in here. They worked out at roughly around about 23 grams each on average. So just to give you a bit of an idea, we weighed up the jade perch as well, and they worked out at over 100 grams each. We weighed up a couple of them just to give us a bit of an idea, so there you go. Hope you all have a great one and catch you next time. Cheers folks.